Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing really well. So we are back with some more Grounded today, and we are doing another base speed build. So I am pretty sure that in the comments one of you suggested like little cabins, so I decided to go for that because I really like the idea. So what I decided to do is I picked the little plot that is sort of like the opposite side of the pond, and now they've added in all of the pond stuff. It looks nicer because you've got like the lily pads and stuff like that as well. But the placement of this base is very far away from like actually any grass or anything like that. There's quite a few stems around here, but grass is literally like you'd be traveling a very long time to build this base without it being creative mode. So it is creative mode, that's why everything's just going up in one go. But yeah, I think that it's a really nice place for a base. I just feel like the getting resources over here, like IRL, if you were doing it without creative mode, would be a real pain in the butt because you'd have to travel all the way across the pond. I mean, if you built like what's it, like a bridge across the pond like I have done to my previous base build, then it wouldn't really be much of a problem. It'd just be a bit time consuming and maybe a bit boring, but other than that I think that this is a pretty cool place to have a base. So what I decided to do is I decided to do the cabins like I said, and I have made 4 of them because in the game you can have up to 4 people playing. Like if you play co-op or whatever, you can have 4 people playing. So I thought everybody could have their own base. Now each of the cabins or houses, whatever you would like to call them, they are very different, but all of them have their own like storage containers. They all have their own fires, their own smoothie stations, and I'm pretty confident that each of them have their own what's this, like, oh my goodness, what is it called? The little machine that makes the silk rope and stuff like that. At least I think it's silk rope. But yeah, they all have one of those each as well, which is better because you don't want to be, I don't know, going to your friends and just stealing all their stuff. So I made sure that each of them had their own, like, stuff so that they could live, I guess, independently. This is like coming off like a really hypothetical IRL sort of situation of having your stuff. So yeah, I made sure that each of the cabins had all of the like basic necessity type things, if you will. Obviously they've all got beds and stuff like that. So this first cabin that I'm building, it went a bit weird to how I was imagining it, and I really didn't like how the grass like platforms at the top just looked like they were floating. So I used the really large stem walls to kind of like as a bit of structural support, if you will, to make it look a bit neater, because there isn't anything I don't know what the word is for it, but there's no like support beam or anything, or like a pole or something that you can stick down to make it look as if it's being held up by something. So I decided to use the large stem walls to kind of make it as if that was holding on, and I feel like it works. Okay, we'll just do that. It works really well, and it works how I wanted it to work, so I was really happy with that. So yeah, all of the cabins have a very different layout. This one, the second one that I build, is the smallest of all of them, but it has its own like little private bed. I mean, most of them actually have their own. They've got like a sleeping area, and then there's like other places in the house that's like mainly for crafting, if you get my gist. But this one, the second one, has its own like little bedroom area, which I thought was really cute. This is the smallest of them. It has no upstairs, so this one is like really like a bungalow type thing. But yeah, it's super cute, and I'm not sure exactly what cabin I would like if I built these and like you were playing with other people and like with your friends or whatever, and decide what cabin you want each. I don't know what one I would have. There is one which I build sort of between the first and second cabin that I do, which is the largest one, And that one has, I think that one's actually got like 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's actually got 5. It's got 5 floors on it. And that one is probably the best overall. The shape of it is kind of really weird. It looks like it has so much room in it, but it doesn't actually have an awful lot of room in it. It's still got the same stuff like every other cabin does, but it doesn't have as much room as it looks like it should have from the outside, if that makes sense. Anyway, you guys will see it later on in the video, but that one is the biggest, and I made it the tallest as well just because I really wanted one of the cabins to have a sort of deck on top to look out over everything, sort of like a vantage point or whatnot. And I do end up adding some zip lines up there, which I think look really cool, and I don't know, I just feel like it sets off the whole vibe for if you were surviving with friends. And I like how each of the cabins are different. I wouldn't want to build them where they looked exactly the same to each other. They're very close together, which I feel like is a good thing. But yeah, I didn't want to build them exactly the same, so I tried to build them as different as possible, so like each of them has a different vibe or whatnot. There is one of them that has this sort of like I don't know if I guess you could call it a decking area. It has a decking area that then leads down to the pond with some stairs, and it leads over to the really long bridge that I built that goes over to the first cabin that I built, speed build mode. I will link that in the description if you guys are interested in watching that one. I think I haven't sped this one up as much as that one, because I do think that the speed that I did the other speed build at, I feel like it's a little bit too fast, a little bit too jarring, so I do apologize for that. But this one I don't think is as fast, which means the video is a little bit longer, but hope you guys don't mind. But yeah, so I start out with just the builds, and then I go in and add a bunch of knick-knack stuff. Try to make them as homey as possible with the like stuff that you were given. The stuff that makes it kind of like really homey is the tables, obviously lights and stuff, and then like the little like knick-knack art pieces that they've got. But let me know in the comments down below which one, if you do have a favorite, let me know which one you would have, because I would love to know. The third cabin that I built, it doesn't really have any windows on the front, and I'd done that purposeful because as I was building the cabins as well, I was thinking to myself, again, IRL hypothetical moment, you wouldn't want somebody else's window like proper looking over into your window so they could see what you were doing type thing. So I had that in mind. So the third cabin I built, all of the windows for it are pretty much towards the back side of the house, which I like. But from the front it looks like it has no windows. I guess it just means that from the front of the house, whenever the sun is in that way, you won't really be getting any natural light, I guess. I don't know, now I'm getting into like some real estate stuff. But as well, the really large, I don't know exactly what they're called, but it's the really, really large stem walls, that could be what they're called. I used those around some of the windows as well, the windows that it would fit, because it kind of creates this sort of barrier on the window, so it makes the windows look a little bit smaller. But I honestly quite like it because I feel like it just adds that little bit more of protection, I guess, if you will. But you'll see it throughout, you'll see what I mean throughout like the video and stuff. And at the end I do have like a little tour where I go around and I just show you guys it all, and I do show it a little bit at nighttime as well, so you can get a feeling. The houses are pretty well lit for nighttime. And then the only other thing that I think I'd done other than the 4 cabins was, obviously we've got the little like bridge area that leads down as sort of like a, I don't know what you would call it, a decking and advantage point to the pond, I guess. It'd be cool if you could have like, you build like a little boat and you go like rowing. I don't know. But obviously as well, this is creative mode, so at the moment there's no enemies, so I still don't know if the koi could destroy like the bridge, if you built a bridge like all the way across the pond, or if you built a like a pond base, whether the koi could destroy it or not. But I do as well. I build a sort of communal area in the middle of the stone platform thing, because I thought it looked a little bit bare. So I end up building a little communally area there, which has a couple of mushroom things. It has a jerky rack, and what else does it have? I think it has 2 smoothie stations. So there's plenty of smoothie stations. Each of the houses have their own fireplaces, so there's definitely enough stuff for people to be crafting and everything, and having a lot of stuff be crafting at the same time. So this build now that I'm doing is the largest of them, and you can see I try to go up pretty high because I knew I wanted one with a bit of a vantage point. Now this one, to begin with, if I did it how I was thinking, there would have been a lot of wasted space and it would have pretty much just been like a tower. But I messed about with it, and I was trying to figure out in my head what things could be used for, and I do end up making it pretty livable. So the very first little bit as you come in, it's got like a chair, it's got some what are they called, like armor dummies, and 2 of the I keep going to call them sewing machines, but like the weaving, I can't remember what they're called, but it's got 2 of those anyway. And then the second floor has like each house as well has a workbench, so they've all got their own workbench and stuff. So second floor has the workbench, it has a fire, I do believe, or the smoothie station, I can't remember. The smoothie station is either on the ground floor or the second floor, and then that's it, and some storage containers. And then the floor up from that is the like bedroom area with a nice table, and then the one up from that is sort of like an armory place, because the speed build that I done before this, like what I would like to have in like my main game, that one has a sort of armory area, so like a basement sort of thing, I guess you could say, and that I really like. So I definitely wanted some sort of armor area for this build. I could have built a completely separate building and just had it completely decked out for like armory stuff, but I didn't think about it, and I obviously didn't do that. But if I could change something from what I'd done and I went back and I rebuilt it, I would probably build a sort of like little armory somewhere as well, so everybody could just go there, grab their gear, put some workbenches in there as well, so there is like an abundance of workbenches. It's kind of not necessarily needed, just because workbenches don't take an awful long time to, like, it's pretty much instant, like you craft something and it's in your inventory, so they don't take a long time to build. It's more or less the, like, I keep going to call it a sewing machine. I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly what it's called. But that's the thing that takes the most amount of time. So maybe I'd build an armory and put a couple of those in there so that you could always have web spinning and stuff. I think it's called a spinning wheel. Anyway, you guys, I think you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. But yeah, this was a really cool idea, so thank you for giving me the idea to build a little cabin area, and I'm glad I went for the 4 cabins. So I kind of block off a little bit of this tower area because I didn't want the armory upstairs to be super huge. I'm calling it an armory. It's not really purposefully an armory, but we're gonna call it that anyway. And as well, on the top floor of this building, I put some mushrooms and a dew collector. Oh, that's another thing, the little like communal foodie crafty area. I put in a couple of dew collectors, so the players will always have a water and stuff like that. But yeah, I really, really quite like this build. And if you like, you could pick it up, take it somewhere. And if you played with other people, then I feel like it's a really nice idea for everybody to be together, but also have your own separate space. And obviously you could build your own cabin however you like, but I feel like this area, this space, is really a good space to build something that's so large, or something that's going to have a bunch of different cabins and resources and stuff in it. So yeah, I use again the really tall stem walls to create some sort of support for this big house. Not necessarily because it needed it, but from an aesthetic point of view, it looked a bit weird with just having a bunch of stuff floating, which I hated. So I decided to mess about with the stem walls and create something. But anyway, I go around and I obviously I fit everything out with all of the things that you would need. So I don't know what else to say. But overall, I really enjoyed building this. It took me I think it took me an hour and a half to build the base structures pretty much, and then it took me probably another hour to decorate them all. So you guys aren't gonna see me decorating the whole of them, just because I didn't think that it was really worth putting it in here. I think there might be a little bit of me decorating, but the whole super knick-knacky stuff and things like that, I'm pretty sure I did that off camera, but you guys will see a reveal and stuff at the end. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you like this build. As I said, let me know in the comments which cabin is your favorite. I feel kind of bad that the second cabin I built, the one that is on the right side, it's very small compared to the others. It's the only one that doesn't have a top floor, but at the same time I like it because it's different, and I'm so glad that I did them all different, and I'm glad I didn't decide to do them all universally the same style, because I feel that would look a little bit boring. But anyway, let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Also, let me know if you have any more ideas for any other builds we could do. I am really happy with this one, like I said. So yeah, so I hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.